should have all the buffs up if I did everything properly. That seems okay. Well, well, well. Yelan's banner is back. So that means it's finally high time. It is high time that I talk about my team that I've used Yelan on for quite some time, which does not use Yelan's burst. Well, okay, it does have the option of using Yelan's burst, and you do want to use it technically, but the focus of this team is just Yelan's skill, and getting big damage number from her skill because it's fun. It's fun seeing big number, right? Now, this is a very highly vertically invested Yelan team. It takes Nahida and Kazuha, and those two are basically requirements for the team to function as it's intended to function, and then, of course, Bennett. So the entire team takes, some of the strongest characters in the game. And on top of that, if you really want to get the most to, use more Yelan skills and get bigger damage from her skills, you want Yelan C1, and you also want her bow. So I'm not going to recommend people go for this, but if you really like Yelan, it might be a fun team option, because I vastly prefer this Yelan team over like just a generical 4-piece Emblem of a Severed Fate Yelan. But anyways, what exactly is the team? You dummy? I should demonstrate, shouldn't I? So the whole point of this team, we're gonna go against Masanori here. The whole point of this team is to go booms on her skill. Boom, that's a dumb way to say vaporize. Yes, I'm going to demonstrate here against Masanori. We're going to have to turn Masanori to the higher health version, otherwise he's just going to die too quick. Alright, Midnight Masanori, let's go. I don't have Bennett's burst up. Never mind, BRB. Yay, there we go, we got Bennett's burst back.
Busted.
Dead. Ooh, that was clean. And that's before getting any meaningful amount of buffs up. Ooh. As long as you have Aqua, these numbers are achievable. Without Aqua Simulacra, it's probably fairly hard to get some of these numbers you're seeing, but not technically impossible. We're going to try to rotate properly and do this. Going to Nahida, and then Bennett. Do this. Do this. Whoop, don't do that. Do this. Do this. Do this. Oh, I forgot to... Oh, did I? Oh, no, I did Nahida. Oh. Okay, he's in his down phase. Can you... A good first demonstration. Masanori, please don't be a butthole. We're going to try to make sure I get all the buffs up by doing this in a fairly specific sequence. Do that, do this. Oh, I don't have Hausa's buff up. That's not ideal. Here we go. Now we do. Okay. And bing. That was a good 350k. Seems decent. You go next phase. There we go. And nice 200k. I didn't use Yelan's burst purposely there, but, it's fine. Nice 200k. There you go. That's how the team basically functions. The reason I did the sequencing where I did, like, not hit it normal attack into Bennett EQ is because Bennett is on Instructors. That is not Instructors. Bennett is on Instructors. He's also on Freedom Sworn, but Freedom Sworn doesn't really do anything for Yelan's damage. Bennett has good chunk of ER. That ER is... Thanks, Bennett. Bennett's ER is inflated a little bit there because he has less than 70% health from one of his constellations. Yeah, right there. So, yep. We're not really taking advantage of Bennett's attack buff or anything here, but Bennett is very important in this team because of the way that Kazuha can infuse. Because essentially, the combo of Bennett and Kazuha is used to reapply Pyro off-field and restart the burning aura with Nahida's E on enemies. So Masanori doesn't have that much health, so you didn't even get to, like, really see that aspect. But essentially this is a burning team that wants to keep up the burning with Kazuha applying Pyro in his burst, and we use that additional Pyro aura that's on the enemies to vape on Yelan's skill. That's essentially the basic idea. There's a few other cool things about it other than that. And the reason Bennett and Kazuha are needed together versus like Bennett and Sucrose is because Bennett self-applies Pyro. So if you see down here on the ground, right, you can see Pyro. That's the aura on your character down here. So if I switch to Kazuha, he has Pyro applied, which means when you use his burst, without even having any Pyro on enemies, it will prioritize infusing Pyro, even if the enemies have Hydro on them. So it's a very easy thing to do is, I can shoot Masanori, he would have Hydro on him, and then I use Kazuha's burst while standing in Bennett's burst, and because he has self-applied Pyro, he always infuses with Pyro on his burst to make sure you get that off-field Pyro application, but he swirls Hydro at the same time for buffing Yelan's damage with 4-piece Viridescent Veer Never. to get consistent vapes on Yelan's skill, you need to have a lot of pyro. And this team just takes advantage of the nature of pyro burning that has constant ticks of pyro damage, and then Nahida, which reapplies Dendro automatically when there's a Dendro reaction happening, such that voila, you have off-field pyro application without shungling. Shungling is an option in this team, but burning is better and more fun, in my opinion. And the burning damage itself can't be underestimated, because just the combo of Bennett, like Nahida Kaza, and like that combo getting a lot of burning damage is actually strong in itself. So Kaza's on a normal VV build, nothing special about him. He's got a whole lot of defense, as he should. That's a joke, you don't actually need that much defense, but having his burst up is very important. Now, Nahida is on just 4-piece Deepwood because you do get Burgeon sometimes, because normally you do use Yelan's burst like I did against Masanori, and then you can do some normal attacks with whatever character on field. Hardly matters. Bennett is maybe best, but it really doesn't matter. And what happens there is that if you're doing Yelan's Hydro application, you're going to create some amount of Dendro cores, and usually Kazuha is the one that's going to trigger them, or Bennett. But either one of them would have a decent amount of EM because of the external EM buff from like Nahida and then the Instructor's buff going on, right? So Bennett, once you get Instructor's buff going, and then Nahida's buff going, is going to have 750 EM, meaning if he triggers any Bloom cores onto Burgeon, then guess what? You're going to get some decent Burgeon damage. So why have I talked for 20 minutes and not even showed Yelan's build? Well, because there's one notable thing that makes this team a little bit harder to play, but that I really enjoy about it, and what enables her build to be what it is. And that thing is that there is self-damage in burning. Applies, like the burning aura on enemies will damage your own characters, which I should probably demonstrate. Alright, hello sir. So, we do Nahida E, and then Bennett, and then you do this. You can see, okay. Well, can you restart? You can see Nahida just died. Yep, rip Nahida. That was the burning self-damage, right? It killed Nahida pretty quick because Nahida squish. So, that's why it's important to have a healer like Bennett on the team, right? So Bennett is basically just his unique like self-applying pyro with Kazuha, combined with his ability to heal is kind of not technically necessary, but very nice to have because you might kill yourself. There's something fun we can do with the self-damage effects from the likes of Nahida and burning. Ow. What I meant to say was Burgeon and burning, because Burgeon, when Burgeon cores explode, they also do self-damage. So this is a team where you kill yourself, which is fantastic, you know? That's pretty much ideal. But you can take advantage of that. One way you can take advantage of that is with sets that I don't have artifacts for yet, because they're new artifacts. This set, Marchese Hunters, and it, gives you crit rate when your HP increases or decreases. Well, your HP is definitely going to be increasing or decreasing in this team, so that can work, but I don't have artifacts for that yet. I have some decent artifacts, just not ones for Yelan, unfortunately. The thing is, Yelan, in this team, right, you're still doing burst damage. You want burst damage bonus, and you want skill damage bonus. And you're taking self damage. Conveniently, there's a set in the game that they added that gives you skill damage bonus. Now this stupid set description is really wordy. The 2-piece bonus is really good for Yelan. And then the 4-piece bonus gives us just 10% baseline skill damage bonus and burst damage bonus. And then if you take damage, you can get up to 5 additional stacks, which the big wall of text there basically means you can get 50% skill damage bonus and 50% burst damage bonus, which being that you do want to use Yelan's burst in this team normally, although if you are like me and you have constellations, you can kind of get away with just not using her burst at all. The point is, 4-piece Vorakashas, Dia's artifacts, of all things. Do I recommend farming for this set for Yelan? Not necessarily, but one minor note about this artifact domain is that it does give you artifacts that are like 2-piece Hydro and 2-piece HP. Both of those work on Yelan as 2-piece sets at bare minimum. So it's actually not the worst like domain to farm for Yelan in general, because Yelan can work perfectly fine on 2-piece, and not just on 4-piece Emblem. But I'm not saying that this is better than Emblem. Oops. But it does function, and I would actually consider this probably my strongest team I have on my account here. So anyways, this has been like 10 minutes of rambling to explain how this team works because it's complicated. So I'm sorry for taking way too long to explain the functioning of this team, but it has a lot to do with the nuances of how all these specific characters work together. And I didn't even get, I did not get that in detail of like, why exactly do you need Nahida specifically? I don't feel like explaining Nahida. We're gonna see this team absolutely freaking wreck the first half of the Abyss here. So, yep. Let's see. I haven't actually used this team at all in this Abyss, but I'm pretty confident it's going to just wreck face. In AoE situations, it's actually gross. Second side of Abyss, I'm just going to do like a Yai aggravate team. Should work pretty okay, hopefully. Normal charge attack bonus. We are not going to use normal charge attack bonus, but I guess we'll take it. Blam. And Bennett burst. I forgot to Nahida burst, but it's fine, whatever. I also did not hit a skill. That was also important. Wow. There you go. You can see me completely scuff up playing this. How are you still alive? Wow, okay. That was actually terrible. You probably aren't even going to be able to tell anything that's going on because there's going to be too many numbers on the screen, but you know what? Deal with it.
Let's light it up. I'm going in. Make yourselves at home. Let's wait for you.
You know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna bother trying to swirl Hydro because trying to swirl Hydro is annoying. So we're just gonna watch Burning do what Burning do. And there was a nice like million damage out of Yelan there. And Kazuha swirl, and then Yelan skill, and everything's dead. What a world! Oh, hi! How are you alive? And swirl with Kazuha. Yes, I know I haven't used Yelan's burst yet. That's kind of the fun of it. There's still a dog alive. What a world. Oops, I didn't mean to use Yelan C6 there. But I'm going to retry this attempt because I didn't mean to use Yelan C6. Alright, you can see that they're almost already dead with just burning alone, and then they just die instantly after that, so, you know. And do that, and use Yelan's skill again, and they're dead. Perfect. Refresh Nahida burst. Do with this. And do with that, and do with that. And now we just have the buttholes Hydro. Oops, I didn't mean it. Sorry. I cheated. Whatever. We just have the buttholes Hydro damage or Hydro shield to get through now. Is what it is. Let's use that to heal a little bit and not die with Kazuha or Yelan or anyone. But you know. Anyways. See, this would not be a problem if I. Whatever. It's fine. And you're dead. There we go. It works. It's pretty strong. It kills the doggos real fast. If you have done any amount of floor 12, you know that those big corrosion doggos are pretty tanky, and they died quite fast. The only thing that really slowed us down there was, you know, the butthole's pyro shield. So anyways, let's do the second chamber. Completing with the Yai side was no problem. Had like 30 seconds left. Crit damage, or HP. The HP actually might be better for Yelan. But we're going to choose the smart one. We're going to choose the crit damage. Buttholes, get over here. Alright. And all die, please. Oh, they're still alive. What a world. Do this. Do this. Do that. Do this. And we should have all the buffs up if I did everything properly. That seems okay. And wow, that was pretty fast. Do you believe me when I said this team's pretty strong? It's fun. Like I didn't do a single normal attack there to. Well, actually, I don't. Did I? I don't recall. I don't recall doing any meaningful amount of normal attacks for Yelan's burst. So, yeah, Yelan's burst barely even is necessary in many situations in the team, and it's so fun. Oh, the Dorito. Oh, good. 8 minutes and 20 seconds left. All right, chamber 3 time. Oh, she doesn't have her burst up. Alright, well that's fine. It hardly matters. Who needs Yelan's burst? Not me. I got big old skill damage. Hey, look at that. Oh, you're not dead. That's annoying.
Don't worry, I got this. Teamwork is coming was foretold. Where are you? Things are about to get dicey. Everyone hold in. No mercy.
Do that. I'm gonna get them grouped together a little bit. Hopefully, maybe not. No, probably not. Oh well. Oh, thanks for coming over to me, lady. Blam. Just like that. It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying because you get them knocked down and like enemies in their knockdown state, and it's just like, ah, I see, you're going to die now, even though you have half of your health still. It's just like, ah, it's the only team I've ever made where it feels like getting big ol' nuke damage makes sense and is super satisfying. And now I have 2 minutes to kill these dudes. Surely I won't screw that up. Blam. There we go. Had about a minute left there too. So yeah, this team is very strong, and with an easier abyss like this one, the only real problem is this team feels so strong, partially because of the constellations and stuff that I have, that it makes me it makes the other side of Abyss potentially too easy. like when you have such an easy time on one side of Abyss, it makes it feel like you don't have to try on the other side of Abyss, and I prefer having slightly more balanced teams than that. I mean, actually, both of those teams are fairly balanced for this specific Abyss. Like, both of them were clearing, and well, the Yai team was definitely clearing slightly slower, but it wasn't like so crazy. Either way, both of them were like competent teams that I was having a minute to spare on each chamber, which is a lot of time to spare in Abyss. So anyways, I don't know, I digress. Even if I didn't have Yelan constellations, you can understand how like the damage there, and I didn't even do any meaningful amount of Burgeons there, right? So like C2 Nahida did nothing. You could easily just subtract a lot of the damage that Yelan got from her constellations there, and it would still clear that Abyss more than easily enough, right? How smart is it to actually do Vorakash's Glow? I don't know, because it's really hard to actually notice when the stacks are up on Yelan. Most of the time I don't think about it, right? And I'm just assuming that it's up fairly often, and hopefully hopefully is good enough. For me in particular, since I don't use Yelan's burst that heavily, it might actually make sense to do the new skill damage set, like a 4-piece of the new Golden Troop set. This set, because you do have the full 70% of the skill damage bonus for 2 seconds, even while they're on field. So as long as I use my skill quick enough, or swap out after using one skill and then swap back in again, Yelan could potentially get a lot bigger numbers than you even saw in this video. I've done like purposeful nukes against Scaramouche with this team, and on 4-piece Gilded Dreams with Yelan, and gotten like 850,000 damage, I believe. Let me check. Yep, deal over 50,000 crit damage. I dealt 850,000. That was with Yelan, and I believe on a 4-piece Gilded Dreams rather than this set. This set could theoretically give bigger damage than Gilded Dreams, but trying to make sure I get the stacks up against the Scaramouche boss, where he has super low resistance to get that huge damage, is hard and annoying, and I don't want to do it. So anyways, I get far more satisfaction out of seeing the consistent numbers in Abyss, because like normally you don't get that big of damage numbers in Abyss with consistency, right? If you want to get that big of damage numbers, normally you're doing something like running 20% crit rate and 300 crit damage or something, right? And I don't know, it's just super fun. That's kind of all it comes down to. You just do whatever is fun to you, and as long as it still works, it doesn't matter that one way is more optimal than another. So anyways, and for me personally, it gives me a lot of enjoyment. It actually gives me some enjoyment out of my Yelan constellations, which I regret getting this. You can watch the other video, but I'll probably be linked at the end if you want to see my in-depth thoughts on why I don't like C6 Yelan and why I think it's boring. Like I wouldn't 100% turn it off if I had the ability to, but my ultimate point is just like, it's just there's nothing in the game that requires doing the things that are most optimal all the time, and once you get to certain investment levels on accounts, right? So you don't need to like put emblem on your Yelan. You can do whatever you find is fun. Yeah, that's all I'm kind of saying. One thing I do want to suggest, if you want to approach the way that this team functions, without having to like invest in Yelan constellations or Aqua Simulacra, Sackbow. Sackbow can be genuinely a good option, right? Because if you do normally would, particularly at like lower vertical investment levels, you probably would want a decent bit of ER on Yelan anyways in this team. But Sackbow can give you skill resets, right? And that can functionally give you 2 skill uses, kind of like it gives you with C1. But of course, you're losing a whack ton of crit damage, right? So the damage number you're going to see is going to be way lower on something like Sackbow. But let's go see what it is. There's definitely ways you could make this team function without having the constellation or 5-star weapon investment that I do. It just makes this team easier to play and more like mindless, because it like hardly matters what I do rotation wise versus I guess average maybe is the best way to describe it. So, you know, blam, look, still got over 100k there without whoops. Still got over 100k there without, you know, Yelan's signature weapon, right? So I guess before I end this video off, let me go demonstrate the Burgeonness of this team too. Because in particular, it just means like this team is flexible for how you play it. If you want to play it more Burgeon focus, you can play it more Burgeon focus. Alright, so here I'm basically going to do the same general thing, but instead of using Yelan's skill, I'm mostly just going to, so we're going to get burning started, we're just going to kill them pretty fast. But we're going to do Yelan burst, and, you know, do a bunch of normal attacks, and you can see the cores there got exploded, and do a bunch of AoE damage when Kazuo's burst swirls and hits them, right? Now Kazuo's burst expired. You can also use Bennett to trigger the cores too, like use Bennett's E, so playing it for more of a Burgeon focus versus playing it for more of a skill boom boom focus is a little bit different. But you saw I just cleared the first 2 waves of the doggos there in about the same time. Burgeon works too, and sometimes you just want, whether it be because, you know, you messed up how you intended to do it, or just because there was like residual element on one enemy because they weren't, you know, within range of whatever AoE from one character, you can focus down one of them, try to Burgeon for a little bit instead of, you know, Yelan skilling everything to death, right? It's just a fun team in my opinion, with a variety of ways to play. I'm rambling a bit at this point. It's just how I be. I'm sorry. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, because I always have to spend hours editing and figuring out what amount of my rambling I need to keep in the video versus is superfluous things that I've repeated 100 times over. The point is, it's fun to use characters unconventionally. Yelan is one of my favorite characters mechanically, and it's mostly because of her skill. So I have a lot of fun trying to maximize something as silly as her skill, while also making the team feel competent and fun and satisfying to pull off, right? While also not being super punishing to play wrong. I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. It's nothing that surprising considering, you know, using some of the strongest characters in the game together. But it's just something that I wanted to make a video about, because like you don't have to just play characters that are like, oh, they work best on emblem, you got to use emblem on. Like, no, you can do more than just use emblem on characters. So anyways, I digress. If you end up farming for Yelan for this kind of goofy build, let me know, I guess. I'd probably recommend just farming the new sets for her rather than Voracash's, probably. But if you're a mad lad like me, go and do it. And I don't know, let me know how please, if anyone does this team, let me know in the comments, or on my Discord server. If you Discord server is linked in the description. If you use this team with like a C0 Yelan and whether it be Sackbow or you know, Slingshot or whatever other non 5-star weapon, right? Let me know how it feels to you to play, because I've really only meaningfully played this team with my maxed out Yelan, so it's hard for me to gain a perspective of like how competent it could truly be without like constellations and all that, right? But I'm pretty sure you can make it work. It would just be harder to make it work, and obviously wouldn't necessarily clear in 40 seconds like I was clearing. So, anyways, it should still be satisfying for seeing big number consistently, but I digress. I'm such a rambly boy. Subscribe or something for more videos on weird character builds. If you want, check out my Dia video I made a couple weeks ago where I used Dia and Candace together and also succeeded in clearing this abyss. Although it's definitely not as strong as this team. Subscribe or whatever. Bye-bye.